You took everything that I had, yeah. Walked away, but you left one thing behind. You're wondering just what that is. Yes, you are. Well, the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world comes tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. We're gonna make a little love down by the water. Maybe have a son, maybe have a daughter when the music man calls. That's when I gotta play. So I burn for the things I never had. I'm burning with hate, with love. Spin around. 'Cause as a boy I had a dream. Carry it with me today. Yes, I do. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the walls come tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world comes tumbling down, I'll be there. Hey, 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 hey. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking.
Giottos are so good. These chocolates are what? Chocolates. We're here about astrophotography. What are we doing? Wrong video. Whoops.
Over me, got a way of your own. But I told you that life ain't a fantasy. Now I watch you every day. Turn it up, it's just your way. Rocket fuel runs through your brain. Like I told you on the train, that it's the only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. That it's the only thing she knows. She knows. So it started to rain. Met a woman with eyes like a hurricane. Told her she was the one. And she looked at the moon, calling me and said, now I watch you every day. Turn it up, it's just your way. Rocket fuel runs through your brain. Like I told you on the train. Well, it's the only thing on my telescope now. Damn, what's wrong with this thing?
The lost Lone Ranger, can I break this spell? One thing right, who I make two things wrong. If I want that fine line, who I will always take the fall. If I just do left, I can hear from the right. I sleep all day long, then I'm breathing through the night. I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I felt a lot of women refuse to understand. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money, whatever spring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 It's gotta mean something. It's gotta. Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the sound holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. That I have lost my friend. Catch the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghostly embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played this blues. But I'm afraid, what might be true, that I might never be back again. Seems to me that I've lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too late. Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New revelation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention. You're all that's on my mind. Not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else.
So it's a wonderful night tonight. It's really good. You know, cloudy nights and not cloudy nights, but clear dark sky and you know, was it clear outside? Says it's going to be a wonderful night tonight. I mean, tonight, last night was wonderful. Tomorrow's supposed to be great. So I think I'm going to leave my telescope out all night, and it's going to be a really nice night tonight. So I'm hoping to get some really good shots of the Cave Nebula, which is part of my astrophotography meets D&D imaging. I know it's kind of looks scary, like the way I look at my eyes, kind of crazy. It's pretty cool, but I'm super excited for tonight, and let's see what kind of data I got. Oh yeah.
Dirty. I swear to God, these clouds are just pissing me the off. I don't understand. I don't listen to these things anymore. I can't take it. New York, you suck. And you know what? I'm so done with all this. My telescope's out here, chilling out, and all I got is freaking clouds and PhD beeping at me for no goddamn end. Unbelievable. What am I gonna do? I need to move. I'm so finished with this. I hate this.
Walked away. What you thought was real. You took everything that I had, yeah. Walked away. But you left one thing behind. You're wondering just what that is. Yes, you are. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world comes tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. We're gonna make a little love down by the water. Maybe have a son, maybe have a daughter when the music man calls. That's when I gotta play. So I burn for the things I never had.
Giottos are so good. These chocolates are what? Chocolates? We're here about astrophotography. What are we doing? Wrong video. Whoops.
To me, got a way of your own. But I told you that life ain't a fantasy. Now I watch you every day. Turn it up, it's just your way. Rocket fuel runs through your brain. Like I told you on the train, that it's the only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. That it's the only thing she knows. She knows. So it started to rain. Met a woman with eyes like a hurricane. Told her she was the one. And she looked at the moon, calling me and said, now I watch you every day. Turn it up, it's just your way. Rocket fuel runs through your brain. Like I told you on the train. Well, it's the only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. That it's the only thing she knows. Got up on the wrong side and I'm getting burned again. That grass is looking brown today. Well, it's the only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. That it's the only thing she knows. I woke up on the wrong side and I'm getting burned again. That grass looking brown today. Said it's the only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. That it's the only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. Only thing she knows. The only thing she knows. That it's the only thing she knows. She knows. She knows. She knows. What the hell's wrong with my telescope now? Yeah, what's wrong with this thing?
The lost Lone Ranger, can I break this spell? want things right. Ooh, I may do things wrong. If I want that fine line, ooh, I will always take the fall. If I just do left, I can hear from the right. I sleep all day long, and I'm breathing through the night. I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I felt a lot of women refuse to understand. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fire going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take all your money and whatever else bring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 It's gotta mean something. It's gotta. Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the sound holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghostly embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back for lands of blue. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played this blues. But I'm afraid, the world might be true, that I might never be back Seems to me that I've lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too late.
Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New revelation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention. You're all that's on my mind. Not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else.
So it's a wonderful night tonight. It's really good. You know, cloudy nights and not cloudy nights, but clear dark sky you know, was it clear outside? Says it's going to be a wonderful night tonight. I mean, tonight, last night was wonderful. Tomorrow's supposed to be great. So I think I'm going to leave my telescope out all night, and it's going to be a really nice night tonight. So I'm hoping to get some really good shots of the Cave Nebula, which is part of my astrophotography meets D&D imaging. I know it's kind of looks scary, like the way I look at my eyes, kind of crazy. It's pretty cool, but I'm super excited for tonight, and let's see what kind of data I got. Well, yeah.
Dirty. I swear to God, these clouds are just pissing me the off. I don't understand. I don't listen to these things anymore. I can't take it. New York, you suck. And you know what? I'm so done with all this. My telescope's out here, chilling out, and all I got is freaking clouds and PhD beeping at me till no goddamn end. Unbelievable. What am I gonna do? I need to move. I'm so finished with this. I hate this.
Walked away to what you thought was real. It took everything that I had, yeah. Walked away, but you left one thing behind. You're wondering just what that is. Yes,
Hello,
Oh,
hello,
yeah. Hello.
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 The Three Stooges.
Dr.
Yeah.
Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
I think I'm gonna stop using this crisp because it's cutting it off. I gotta talk so loud to get to it. And there's no kind of adjusting of it, and it's like I'm gonna switch over real quick because I'm gonna use the internal noise gate again. Let's see. Let's see here. And I'll turn that off. There we go. And then I'll turn this noise gate on. Well, I'm just making some quick changes here because it was driving me nuts. There we go. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
All right, good. Because it was
Nice
cutting
and
me off too. It
compressed.
was cutting me off in mid sentence. Half the time I was talking, you guys couldn't hear me. So, not that anybody
Okay.
wants to hear me anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But all right. So we are here tonight. Hey, what's going on? We got a lot of people in the chat already. I see.
A lot of folks.
Yeah, you got a lot of folks. Got Nikon Jackson, got Wilfredo out there. Matt, what's going on? Yeah, we know Dave's out there. Dave's on here. And who else we got? Chris Frickson, Newman, Tarek. What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the show tonight. It's another Friday night. We're here. And I know that we promised that we're going to be doing some imaging and stuff like that tonight, but it looks like from central US where Eric's at to all the way to the East Coast, it's pretty cloudy. So
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I think is that noise your 3D printer in the background? Is that what that is?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Is this
Can you hear it? Yeah, that zero.
Yeah, okay. I was
Yeah.
just wondering. I'm gonna get
My
you
3D.
crisp, so you get
It's literally like yeah, right behind me.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we got now what, an hour and a half, hour and 19 minutes for picture of the week.
Yep. And picture of the month is going to be announced today as
That's
well.
right. Yeah.
It is the
look
third
out.
Friday of the month. So
Wow.
we
You got a
be
lot of stuff
announcing
going on.
Picture of the month for May. So hopefully everybody's, been reaching out to family, friends, fellow astrophotographers, and fellow astronomers for maybe their, astronomy clubs, and telling them about astroworldweb.com and going to the images and picking their favorite images for the week and for the month.
Because they're on two different pages now, right? So
They
you
are
gotta
on
make
two
sure.
different pages.
Gotta pick the right one here. Let me see. I don't think I voted for picture of the month, so I'm gonna vote. Oh, we got 73 votes so far. Look at that.
It's not bad.
For picture of the month. Did I vote? Did I
not
vote
bad.
yet? Let me see if I voted. And it tells me that I did not vote, so I just put in my vote. So
There you go. Okay,
74. And then
Very cool.
image of the week. We got some good pictures for the image of the week. We got, I think I did that one. Yeah, I did that one. I think. Let me make sure. And 69 for the picture of the week. We got 69, dude. There you go. You got 69.
69, dude.
Did I vote? Yeah, I already voted for that one, so I couldn't get it up to 70. So we're at 69 on that. So thank you everybody for all the votes. That's probably like the highest in like 2 months, I think, so far. So
Yeah, it is.
really, really good job to everybody. Keep on voting. I want to throw a shout out to Wilfredo's astrophotography real quick, because he's been promoting the show quite a bit on Instagram and his posts on Facebook. So just want to say a quick thank you out. And if you haven't followed Wilfredo, do an in kind and go check out Wilfredo's astrophotography on YouTube, and definitely jump on his channel as well.
Yep.
So, got to support the whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
we gotta support our crew.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Let's see. What do we got tonight? I've been working like a dog.
So
Finally, the store.
You've been busting your hump.
Well, yeah, the store that I've been talking about, that's been trying to get open this morning. So
Okay.
I will get back to normal with all the stuff that I normally do with my postings and that kind of stuff, because I've been slacking off on that with the congratulations to the pictures of the week people and all that kind of stuff. I've been slacking on that. So I hopefully my life will get to some small bit of normalcy, and we can get back to business, because what's coming up. What's coming up in 6 months, right?
Astropalooza 3!
Astropalooza 3 is coming. So our first guest that said definitely they're gonna do it is Guido. Guido's gonna be back to
awesome.
do
He's
that.
fun, man. I love that
all
guy.
the way from the Netherlands.
So Guido's
Love
going to
that
do it. So
guy.
he'll probably be an early one. So even though he'll be headlining, but not headlining, because he's going to be early because of the time. But everybody's a headliner when you come on there. So I'm going to try and get I'm going to speak to Trevor again at Starfest in August. And then obviously Sean will be back. It won't be his niece's 10th birthday again. So so he'll be on. Wayne Parker will probably be back as well. I'm gonna try and get some other people. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I'm gonna try and get Chad this year from Patriot Astro. Stacy will come on, sure.
Yeah, if you want, we can chat with her. We haven't chatted with her in a while, and maybe Astro Molly.
Astro Molly, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, Astro Molly,
yeah. She was on the Astropalooza 1. So
yep, she was.
Yep. So
You gotta get Quiv. You gotta get Quiv somehow.
I've been trying. He's almost as bad as getting like Brian May. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
God,
it's
he's such a he's so aloof, man. He's such a cool dude, man.
I know,
can't
I know.
believe-
He seems like such a cool dude. So I'm gonna try. I don't give up. I don't give up with guests. It's just that
I'm gonna start messaging him myself and say, you gotta come on. You gotta come on.
yeah, you got to come on to
Yeah.
Astropalooza 3, man. You missed the first two, dude. Trevor's been on, Dylan's been on, the Master of Pix Insight been on, Sean Nielsen's been on, everyone's been on. Trevor Jones, Dylan O'Donnell.
We always talk about your videos.
You know, we had didn't we have Adam Block on the first one?
Adam Block was on. Actually,
Yeah.
well,
He
Adam
did
Block did a
pre-recorded.
video. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a
He did a
video.
video.
But
He
it was
did a
still
video.
pretty cool that he did
Yeah,
it.
it was.
Yeah.
You know,
So
we've had Charles Bracken on with
Dr.
Max.
Sass.
Dr. Sass.
Yep, we've had Dr. Sass. You know, so we've had some great.
Yeah, we had. Don't
guests.
forget, we had Nico last year too.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going. I swear, I'm going to get Luca Matico on. I'm going to get Luke Newbold.
Yeah. See if you can get Luke. You'll be cool. Even
I want to get Narrowband channel too.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. There are, someone mentioned seeing if we can get Dylan back. See if he'd be available.
Yeah, because I'm going to start doing, start emailing people out like this month, next month.
Yes. Luca Matico,
and me and Luke have a weird kind of a relationship. It's kind of funny. We text each other over Instagram all the time, and
okay.
And I think I hit him. I hit him a little close to the heart about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. But I said, Luke, listen, I saw your video on what's his name, Hogarth's Astronomy when he passed away, and I didn't know that you guys were tight like that. I knew you guys were the same part of the country, but I didn't know you guys knew each other like that. But I want to send you something. I want to send you something. So I mailed him a calendar with the insert of the tribute to him, to Nigel.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool.
And he actually called me over Instagram. He's like, you didn't have to do that, man. That was so cool of you. Thank you so much. And it means a lot that people, that people care when things like this happen. So, and we do care. I mean, it's, if you think about it, Luke, congratulations to Luke, by the way.
Right. He's having a baby.
He's having a baby. As a matter of fact, I didn't text him congratulations. Now that I totally forgot. I've been working like a friggin' dog. And oh, look at that picture. Oh, that's a nice picture. Look at that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's the first thing that popped up.
Katie's graduation.
Another, somebody else you might want to look at is Glenn from AstroWorld.
AstroWorld, yeah. Let me write that one down. I didn't.
Yeah, he's actually really good.
You know who else I might want to try?
The thing about Glenn is he's one of those guys that's good with tools. I mean, he taught. Watching his video, I learned how to hypertune my EQ6 and stuff like that. He's good at
nice.
the mechanical side.
Tinkering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not like me. I am horrible with that. So
he's got some great stuff.
What about Dark Ranger?
Sure.
I was just thinking about that the other day.
I've seen his YouTube show, and he seems really in tune with what's going on out there. He just demoed, he demoed quite a few camera scopes lately, like a couple of the William Optics Palladies and a few others.
Oh, did he? Okay, I have to look at those. I haven't seen.
Yeah, and
he's done a bunch of good stuff.
He's put out some really good content.
I'm trying to find a piece of paper. My pad is missing.
Who's the other one out? Who's the other English guy? talks to that damn pink rabbit all the time. Oh, God.
Pink Rabbit.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. He's hysterical.
Got me on that one, bro.
He's a Brit. Oh, I'll
Pink
tell you.
Rabbit. All right.
Yeah.
Got me on that. So, don't know. So, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking a little bit about monochrome imaging. This is a topic, that Wilfredo threw out here. So, I've got a little bit of a presentation that I'm going to, share and present, about it, as well as a little bit on, going into Pix Insight and processing and stuff like that. So, and understanding a couple differences when it comes to monochrome and color and stuff like that. But first, because, I'm me, it's just me, I'm going to share my screen.
That noise is horrible, man.
Yeah,
I know.
Right?
Trust me, I know.
So here is the latest image using the Edge 8 in the 533 combo. And this is why I love this scope and this camera combo together. It makes it so awesome.
Now what scope is that again?
Astro Biscuit, that's the guy.
That's the guy with the bunny?
Yeah. Astro Biscuit.
Yeah, Astro Biscuit. Yes.
He's another one. Be great for content.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. So here we have the Iris Nebula.
Which scope is that again?
This is with my
Edge 8. That looks great. I saw that today on Facebook. Man, that is such a great image. I think that's one of your best that I've seen you do.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. And this one was a lot of fun. I even got a tip, from Dan when I shared this with him the other day before I put it out.
See, I have my moments. I have my moments.
You have moments.
They're few and far between, but I have them.
Joe, no, this is not crop. This is the 533 is a square sensor. It's a 1-inch square sensor. So it was cropped, but the only thing that was cropped were the stacking artifacts.
The edges.
The edges.
Yeah. Is that with the reducer?
This is with the 0.7 reducer. Yes.
Okay, so that scope will zoom right up on that thing.
Oh yeah,
that
and that's why I love this combination, because you can, even if I was at f10, you can get right into the nebulas. No matter what it is, no matter what target you're going after, but having that small sensor and a long focal length telescope, you can really, your field of view is going to get really narrow, and it's going to get really deep into your target.
You're really pushing me into getting that 8 edge. You're really pushing me.
It looks really good.
It's a great.
How long were your exposures on that?
Well, these were 3-minute exposures.
Really,
okay.
Really that long?
These were 3-minute exposures. And I used Star Tools to give me an idea of the signal to noise ratio of each filter. And I was close. I was about 45. I was about 45 decibels. So
really? You were that high,
really
huh?
good. Down
yeah, it got that high. It got that high. And this is one of the points I talked about in the presentation, going that. But even here, I added in some information, and I'll zoom this in just a little bit so it can be seen a little bit. So this was the first, so usually on my website, and my images, I will start putting in information about the target and stuff like that. But this was my first one that I actually started put in my workflow
Okay, cool.
from Pix Insight. And so it goes through, what processes I used, and even in certain areas, how much I used of a particular, like say, blur exterminator, or for contrast, a local histogram equalization, things like that. So it has a few things in here that, are shared. And one thing I'm going to start doing is, of course, it has the information here as far as the exposures, the scope, all of that stuff. And it has the acquisition information, how long, this was just a total of 10 hours of data that I collected.
That's plenty.
And at 45 some decibels, with your signal to noise for 10 hours, that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
And then I started adding in the Finder chart, which is, you can find this in Pix Insight if you've never seen it or used it. And it will give you a sky chart of the area and the target that you have imaged or you are imaging. So you can even incorporate that in here. So you can add. So I added that and incorporated that here into the website. So
it looks amazing, dude.
Thank you.
I think one of your best I've seen.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And this
really
is straight LRGB.
What filters were those?
I use my LRGB filters. These were Antlia, the Antlia Edge 4.5s. 4.5. No, I'm sorry. The Edge, the 4.5s are narrowband, but yeah, we're just a straight Edge Pro.
But Antlia LRGB.
I'm sorry, the V Pro. The V Pro. The Antlia V Pro LRGB.
Awesome.
So check out, you please feel free. I really like, I'm trying to encourage people to check out my website, astrowitheric.com. And it's still a work in progress. I've got a few blog posts out there, my calendar and stuff like that. But yeah, just let me know what you guys were thinking, and I will try to do that. Nice, Tom. When are you gonna grow your hair long and gray and you could be like Ron Breacher with a nice tan?
There you go.
Yeah. So they'll stop sharing here. Stop sharing that.
That looks great, man. I love that picture.
Job,
when you put it on, I saw it on Facebook and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. So no, that was cool.
So now I'm going back and forth between, do I want the Quattro or do I want the Reach of the Edge? I don't know.
Do you want the speed?
You want star spikes or you don't want star spikes?
I'm that's not the make or break.
Yes, feel free to ask a beginner question here. Yes, today is
absolutely,
newbie.
Mr. B.
Every Friday
you
is
can ask
newbie
anything.
night. But yes, absolutely, you can ask. We ask whatever question you want to ask.
You want both, Matt? I take plenty of donations for this stuff to help me with my hobby. So feel free to make a donation to just PayPal me. Don't do it through here. Just you can just lend me money. That's fine. I'll give you my personal friends and family PayPal account. There you go.
There you go.
Exactly.
I don't want to have to drive all the way up there to use an 8-inch edge. But this goes now. I gotta get the edge, right?
Where's Matt at? Matt, where are you at?
He's 3 hours away upstate. He's not far.
Oh, that's not very far.
No, he's not far.
Geez.
But to use an Edge 8, it's far. It's too far. But so now I need, if that's the case, I need the Edge. I'll probably need the reducer, right?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but it's
nice. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. But I mean, I probably don't want to go one-shot color from New York. I mean, I probably want to go mono somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And speaking of mono and one-shot color and all that stuff, we, thanks to Wilfredo for giving us a topic to discuss when it comes to
Go for the
imaging.
14.
Yeah, go for the 14. Yeah, give yourself a hernia.
When I move and have my sky shed made, not a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not a problem. It'll go on a
Then
pier
you'll have
and
to,
it'll
then you have to
stay
get
there.
planetary. Then you'll have to really get into planetary.
Oh,
Your
no sweat.
EQA.
Yeah.
Yep, I would have my EQ8 on one, and I'd probably have, if I had my way, I'd probably get maybe like a 10 micron on the other or something like
Oh
that.
my God.
I'd probably do something like that. That's something that I would do later on, I think. Can't really afford one right now, but I mean, that's gonna be I already got my retirement scope. Now I gotta get my retirement mount. So,
Yeah.
so my retirement scope is set with the AP 130. I think I'm good with that for now. But I think that if we could get something nice and I'm seriously thinking about considering this place in Texas, this Bray Falls project down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
$299 a month. I'm wondering if we could do something just for AstroWorld and just you know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, go for it, because that is really something, because when you think about it, how a lot of us are imaging now, we're already doing remote imaging in a way, because we're utilizing Nina and mini and our computers, our mini computers, or our ASI airs, and we're doing all these things away from the telescope itself. I mean, we're doing these things in the comfort of our own home. We're not freezing outside. So I think it would be cool to get a remote observatory.
We're not really doing remote. We're just remote into our ASI air. There's not you're not remote imaging when you're doing it from your backyard. I'm sorry. That's not remote imaging.
That you know what? No, the technology and everything, you are kind of doing remote imaging. The only difference is, yes, it is out in your backyard, but everything you are doing is basically going to be the same thing you do for remote imaging. The only difference is,
it is, but if anything goes wrong,
away.
you're not there to fix it. You can't go to the backyard. You can't.
That is true.
So there is a part to remote imaging that isn't there when you're doing it from your backyard. So let's yes.
That's why they call it remote imaging.
Yeah. So for you, we'll call it backyard remote imaging. We'll do that. How about that? But Mr. B had that question. He wants a semi-dream scope. He re-entered the hobby with the C-Star. Got an ED72 with 2600 and a dual narrowband. Has an Edge 8 with the 183. Wants a semi-dream scope.
Okay. Q1 since we're
reading that too.
Well, that would be like a plane way.
Well, the question is really what couple things are, what ideally do you think is going to be maybe your ideal focal length? Because you already have a 72. Okay, so that's kind of a slightly wide field. Then you have the Edge 8, which is much narrower, and a longer focal length. So are you looking for something more in the middle, like maybe a 120 or a 127, where you're getting between 700 to say almost 1,000 millimeters of focal length, stuff like that. So
I'm using expensive narrowband filters. Why spend $1 for the best APO scope? Nothing beats good glass. That's why.
Nothing beats good glass. That's for sure.
The same reason you buy good filters is the same reason you're gonna want. It's kind of like one of those things where just because you got a great filter, if you got a doublet that's a garbage, like a Tasco doublet. You're not going to get the resolution or the clarity that you would get than, let's say, an astrophysics or Takahashi refractor. You're not going to get that type of quality of image. Filters help,
Yeah.
but
Help.
filters help a lot. But I guess Eric, you are on the right trail there, where you want to sit there and think what not only the focal length, because you got to think about what's your end game, what do you want to image, and that leads into that conversation of the focal length. So you think about the visual, and then you take the focal length to fit the visual, and then you make the camera to fit the focal length. So so what is your end game, and what do you want to be imaging? Because our answer for planetary is going to be different than our answer for small planetary nebulas or small galaxies. It's two different things.
Yeah. Now, his first question went, since memory computing power is so cheap, why not just take 60-second exposures and not put the money into an expensive mount? How good is good enough? The key to the mount, for me, that's a fair question, but the key is how well do we know that these things are tracking? Because if you go cheap, if you go inexpensive, then you could be setting yourself up for some headache down the road.
And to your point, Eric, it's all about the consistency of the mount. And just take, you're not going to be able to compare an AVX to an MX. You're not going to be able to do that. You don't get the consistency. You don't get the reliability of the, and am I comparing apples to apples? No, but that's the whole point of getting a better mount, because you have that predictive error in the mount where you can sit there and train it out. Whereas, God forbid, you get an AVX where there's a burr somewhere that just throws off everything, and you can't correct for that. So you really want to spend the money on the mount, and that's something we talk about on the show quite a bit.
Yes, that's the key. That's the key piece of equipment, because everything else that you purchase is riding on that piece of equipment.
Yep.
Correct. But like he was saying, why should it matter if you're shooting at 3 nanometer, blah, 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 which is fine. I get that. But, you can use a doublet. If you're shooting each individual filter with a mono camera, you can use a doublet.
Yep.
If it's got good glass, the glass is going to be the reflective coatings on that glass. Is what you're looking for.
Probably
if you can get a doublet with FPL53,
like the William Optics doublets,
and you're shooting mono, you'll be fine.
Yep.
The
problem is when you're shooting one-shot color with the doublet,
forget about it.
Yeah, you got to start.
You're going to be doing a lot of work, because you may have to. You may see that rainbow color stars there, where
it's going to get purple.
Purple stars, or you get that violet shift, or something like that, where you're sitting there and you're getting, and you would have to make it a mono image anyway and bring it all back together and just align all the colors, and you might be making a little bit more work for yourself that way.
Yeah,
but if you're shooting mono, if you have good glass, you can.
So my first question would be this for Mr. B: what is your budget for a
Another
mount?
good question.
What is your budget for your optics? And how much, so what type of investment do you want to put into your optics? But the main thing is going to be, how much of an investment do you want to put into your mount?
Correct.
How much do you want to put into it? Because I tell my kids with all this stuff, sometimes, when they do certain things, I say, hey, you have to put the work in. It's garbage in, garbage out. If you buy garbage, you're going to get garbage out of it, and you're not going to be happy. You're going to end up now spending another $3,000 on a better mount when you could have bought it right perhaps the first time.
And
like
you know what?
Pete, like Pete used to say,
Buy once, cry once. Yep.
Buy once, cry once. Exactly.
You know, and you
Make
know what?
the
Listen,
investment.
the cry, the amount of crying that you do is directly proportional to the size of your pocketbook. So,
It is.
so,
It is.
you know, budget is a big deal, and listen, you got to be really realistic with yourself on what you kind of want to put into this and what you want to get out of it. So, if you want to get pictures like the one that Eric has behind him, the Ghost of Cassiopeia, really nice. You're gonna have to put a couple thousand into a mount. You're gonna have to get maybe 1,000. I think that's was a $1,200 refractor, the 91. I think it is something like that.
Yeah. It's about around that. It's around
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So plus the camera and stuff like that. So you're talking, you know, 7 in, 8
7,
in,
perhaps 8. Yeah.
something like that to get something like that. Now listen, there is nothing stopping you from doing those 30-second pictures, 3,000 of them to get that kind of thing. But let me tell you something. Make sure you have the memory in your computer to stack all those images, because you will crash PixInsight and you will crash your computer if you do so much.
Mr. B, you just mentioned, I have an AVX, a CGM11, and a CGXL, and I wished I would have just went with a G11T.
Wow.
Well, I mean, and I hate
could have gone EQ6R and been fine.
Yep. Or at this point, you could go with your harmonic mounts at this point, and be done with it. But here you go, and
are we talking a permanent? But when we talk about harmonic mounts, are we talking this is a permanent setup, or is this something that he's planning on traveling?
Doesn't look like it if he's talking about an AVX and a CGM.
Yeah. So my whole thing with harmonic mounts is they're lightweight. I think they're best used for travel and for lightweight stuff.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's the best. But if you are, if you are having an observatory or you're just imaging out of your backyard and you don't plan on maybe going here, going there, going wherever else, put the money in, I would say, of a more traditional gem mount. But take a look at them. I mean, Skywatcher has some fantastic ones. You've got the CQ350 now. You've got the 8. You got the EQ8, 8R, the RH. If you want, the encoders and stuff like that. But there's that Ioptron. Honestly, the SIM 70, it would be a very good one. The SIM 70 would be a very good one.
Hold on a second.
But they have the SIM 70s had some issues.
Yeah, but so let me squash that really quick, Mr. B. Harmonic mounts are fine for astrophotography, and here is the crux of the argument of harmonic mounts and their possible, I don't know, it's like fake news issue for periodic error, and that's the big thing. The harmonic mounts do have a high rate of periodic error due to the design of the mount. So it's going to have that. However, I will tell you this: I live in New York, where my seeing is probably 2 to 4 arc minutes. It's pretty horrible. And I consistently guide with my Pegasus Nix 101 in New York at normally 0.5, 0.4 to 0.7, let's say. Constantly.
You're still under an arc second.
I'm under an arc minute. Yeah, under an arc second. Yeah, under an arc second. Yes.
But the thing about the harmonic mounts and that periodic error, it's predictable, perfectly.
It's predictable.
Totally predictable.
To where PhD2, when you run the PPEC algorithm, it will learn it and it will know it and it will guide that out.
Guide it out.
Any problem.
No problem at all. So the periodic error is not an issue with the harmonic. That's why everybody's coming out with them. That's why you got ZWO, Pegasus, Ioptron, now Skywatcher. I mean, so you got all these people, and the reason why, because they're portable and they're wonderful. I mean,
Yes, they are
Easy to
portable.
move.
I can
Now, he
take
was
my
mentioning he was
Pegasus on my
getting, like, an
shoulder,
Astro
and I can throw it on my shoulder, and literally, and I could hold a 40-pound payload on that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really super awesome. So I mean, I would tell you,
So
if you could get a decent mount,
get a
I
decent.
I would get a harmonic mount just because of the portability. But like Eric said, if you are setting up every night, or you're well, you want to be mobile.
Yeah.
These
And you don't have
harmonic
to.
mounts
You don't have to
on
worry about balance.
nope.
Everything
Yes,
doesn't have
yes.
to be
If
perfectly
you are
balanced.
using it, because he mentioned he was going to be getting he's going to be using an Astro van. He's going to buy something to turn it into an Astro van. Well, then in that case, yes, grab a harmonic. Look at a harmonic. But if you were going to just keep this in your backyard in an observatory, something like that, then I would look for your traditional gem mounts and get a good one.
Agreed.
But if you're going to be traveling, harmonic's the way to go now. No question about it.
I agree. I mean, but like I have my pier in the backyard. Perfect example. And you got your tri-pier and your observatory.
Yep, I've got my pier in my observatory.
You got your Ioptron, I believe, in your observatory. I got my EQ8R. You want to know why it's staying out there? Because it's a beast. It's a beast. I'm not bringing that thing to Cherry Springs ever.
Yeah,
it's never going to see Cherry. The only way that it's going to be seeing under a Bortle 6 sky is if I move there. So, that's
I've
it.
got my EQ6, and it stays out there. If anything, I bring the scope off it, and I cover the mount.
Yep.
It never moves. Yep. It's too damn heavy to lug around.
And that's the 6, right?
Yeah, and it's
that's
still.
The 6.
I mean,
the 8's
all put
like
together
double
with
the
the
weight.
tripod, it's 75 pounds.
Yeah, well, I don't even think I didn't even buy the tripod with the 8. I just bought the mount head. And
because you got a pier, but I don't have a pier.
I mean, you're talking the EQ8, the counterweights that come with that thing. They are
222s,
220-pound weights, and the head of the EQ8R is what, 60,
63, 65,
something like that. It's like 60 some odd pounds.
It's got two handles on it.
It's like this.
Yeah. My EQ6 has one handle, and thank God it has that.
Oh, and I busted my knee a couple times with that EQ6R, holding it by the handle.
You can't hold it down by your leg. You got to handle and then another
handle and base.
Underneath.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. So, Mr. B, if you're planning on building an Astro camper van and you're going to be traveling cross country, wanting to get great shots, going to dark sky sites and things like that, you definitely want to consider getting a harmonic mount. Yeah. Now, if you are traveling like this, I would think hard about getting a refractor.
I agree.
And
get one like a Petsville design.
Yeah. Now he already has a refractor, but it's a 72. It's a 72 millimeter, which, in my opinion, that's a great size, especially if you're traveling with a harmonic mount. But if you want to go a little deeper as far as focal length, I would consider the 120, 127, like maybe the Explorer Scientific, like the carbon fiber Explorer Scientific.
It's a great scope.
It's a very, very good scope.
Focuser's not that great, but
yeah. But you can there are certain things you can do with the focuser. I mean, you can end up getting maybe like
get a night crawler.
Or get a night crawler.
You can do the Explore Scientific fix. You got to turn it upside down. And
you know what? I had to do that when Tyler loaned me his 152.
You had to turn the whole thing upside down so the
put the
knobs
whole
are on the
thing
top.
Yes, I did have to do that.
So, but yeah, I mean, you know,
I
I
just
might
got a
even
night
go.
crawler, and I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, but not everybody
Nightcrawler
can spend
or a
$2,600 on a focuser. But
I was more than that.
well, it depends on which one you got. If you got the 25 to 30, there's a
I
couple
got the
different.
30.
Okay, so yeah, so you're at 3,200. So
Yeah.
so, but you know, I might even go even, you know, we're talking about the 127s. I mean, if you want something that's a little bit more together, you might want to get something like I was saying, like some sort of Petzval design with the
Some
flattener
sort of
inside.
festival.
You know, I mean, I love, you know, even the FRA 600. That's a 600 millimeter.
Yeah. Now the downside with certain ones like the William Optics Pallades 111.
Yep.
Is that, you know, with that amount of glass, it has a much shorter focal length than you would think.
Yep.
Right. That's the only hang up that I have with that, is that it has a much smaller, longer, a much shorter focal length than I actually suspected. I think that focal length is around 600.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, something like that. It's lower than I really thought. And I think a lot of that does have to do with the glass. Local guy here has an FRA 600. FRA 600s they have been iffy. The 400's been good, but I've heard the FRA 600, it's been, depending on the one you get, it's been hit or miss. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Oh,
but that's what I
the
heard.
500 was the one that had a lot of issues.
Okay.
You know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But you know, I have the 400. I love my 400. I know two people that have the 600 that are getting great results out of it. The 500 and the 300 were the ones that came directly out after the 400. So they pushed those out. But I think they fixed a lot of the issues with the 500 that they were getting by now, because I haven't heard a lot of complaints now. But I mean, not saying that the problems aren't out there, but I mean,
I would seriously.
But even like
maybe I'm
William
just being a little
Optics has
biased.
redesigned like their GT81s and stuff like that to where
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say.
That's fine too.
Look at the William Optics line. Look at the William
they've
Optics.
redesigned their stuff to where it's better.
Yes, they have. Now they have the interior focusers.
Yeah, they got the Whift. The Whift.
Yeah, the Whift. But they are some fantastic and fairly reasonably priced telescopes. I mean, I love my William Optics stuff, and you guys know I've talked about it. I don't know how many times. I wish I would have never given up. You know, the others. You know,
I
sold them all.
I do too. I love my GT81 is a great scope.
Don't forget the Ascar PHQ line either that I just got in. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah, PHQs are nice. I'll tell you, if I could find the guy I sold my 120, my Zenith Star 126 doublet, I would buy it back from him.
But you do that all the time, man. You sell
I
stuff.
I know.
You always get seller's remorse. You're like,
I do get seller's remorse.
I'll never use this again. I'll never use it. Then a year down, the road, you're like, oh,
I wish
man,
I had it.
Wish I had that scope, man. I want to do solar now. Oh man, I wish I had that scope.
I want to do this. I want to do that. It's just like, I swear, you know, I just kicked myself in the ass, like, God dang it, Eric, you idiot.
I'm telling you.
But yeah, but I hope we were able to answer some of your questions here, Mr. B. That would be, you know, these are my recommendations. These are Dan's. Definitely talk to Dan, you know, and check out, you know, AstroWorld Telescope. And he will. I honestly think he won't steer you wrong. He will, you know, he'll ask you some of the more pertinent and maybe a little bit harder questions, you know, to get you where, in his opinion, and where, you know, he thinks is the best stuff, you know, where you want to be. But
and if I don't sell it, I'll point you to somebody who does. And if you know, listen, if you're in Florida and I was a little worried about the Williams Optics when I saw you have to continue, you bring it in to keep it in internals. I've heard about that, but
because of the weather.
As long as you're good with the scope, you'll be fine. But I mean, there are plenty of scope makers out that he's. I mean, even the Starfield Optics, is another one that they make some really good stuff. Again, Sharp Star Ascar make really good stuff. Like you said, Explore Scientific as well.
Yeah.
I think I've
Anything
had.
carbon fiber, you're going to be, down in Florida. I mean, that's
Yep.
probably
Yeah,
ideal.
I mean, it can
You get
cool
some
off
carbon
quick,
fiber.
a lot easier. It'll cool a lot easier.
They don't
faster,
flex.
light.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're not going to be subject to temperature and moisture.
Yep. That's
Exactly.
a big one down there because
Yeah.
the dew down there is like you could like
That's
slick the sweat off the scope at the end of the
Mhm.
night. So but
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. B, feel free to call me. I'll throw my phone number in the chat for call me tomorrow because my phone is being worked on. But 516-273-3771. That's my phone number. It's on my website as well. So feel free if you want to give me a call tomorrow sometime. And I'm fine with that. So just give me a ring.
Okay, cool. So now let me share my screen here, and we can do this here.
Obviously, don't call me right now. I'm on the show. So.
Exactly. So let me there.
And Mr. B, just so you know, I don't know when you jumped on, but go to astroworldweb.com and you could vote for under contest for picture of the week and picture of the month. If you haven't done so
Yep.
already, throw a vote in for the pictures, and we do weekly contests. So feel free to throw some stuff in there. So and Eric's got something now, and let's see, he's running his PowerPoint here. So let me make him a little bigger. There you go.
Cool. Thank you.
You got it.
And thanks to Wilfredo for making the suggestion to talk a little bit about monochrome imaging. But this is just a few points and some things to consider when we talk about these different cameras. And I am going to talk, and when you talk about monochrome, you can't, at least I can't, not talk about one shot color, because that is the debate. One shot monochrome, and or how to do certain things. So even though this is titled, monochrome imaging, we'll talk a little bit more here about color. So we're going to talk a little bit about the bare matrix, and that's when it comes to color cameras. We'll talk about some pros and cons of color, as well as pros and cons of monochrome. First off, let's talk about the bare matrix. And these are condensed explanations and stuff like that.
Hold on a second. Let me turn off your green screen because all your green pixels are brown.
Okay. Yeah, I see that now. They're all brown.
Oh, yeah.
I see that.
I was wondering why that was like that.
I'm going to turn this.
Let's do that.
You keep going. I'll fix it on the fly. So give me a second.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Yeah, but because I remember the last time.
Yeah, so did I. I said, something's not right. I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So.
And they have stars in it.
There you go.
Yeah, stars in it. Okay, there we go. So the bare matrix. And the bare matrix was, I believe, developed by a gentleman by the last name of Bear, who worked
Bear, yeah. That was
but just a brief, synopsis or explanation of what the bare matrix is. It's actually a mosaic filter. It's a filter that is a mosaic of what they call the color filter array, or CFA. And it's used to arrange tiny little RGB color filters on a square grid, and that grid is placed above the camera sensor. Now, the arrangement of the colors, how they're arranged, will kind of vary based off of the sensor manufacturer. But regardless of the arrangement, the pattern is it's going to be half green, one quarter blue, and one quarter red. And each of these filters, they cover 1 pixel, if I'm not mistaken, of the sensor. Okay, so. And RGB is a common one, especially if you have a ZWO color camera. And here you can talk a little bit about the way how light is divided by, is split up by the Bayer matrix. So if we have this incoming light, we have red, green, and blue. As you can see here, a very small number, or a quarter of the number of your sensor. This is your sensor. A quarter of them will be have the red filter. Half will be green, and finally, the other quarter will be blue, and that'll be kind of the resulting pattern. And what you need to do is to get.
But real quick, that's why. Why is that?
Why is that what?
Why do they use more green than blue and red?
That is a good question. Why do they use more green than they do?
I can tell you, because the human eye is more sensitive to green than it is to blue and red.
Okay, that's good to know.
Because we see green we're more sensitive to color green than we are blue and red. And that's why they do it that way.
Right on.
Then let me play devil's advocate.
RGB when one-shot color equals RGGB. It doesn't always equal RGGB. Like I said, Tarek, it depends on the sensor manufacturer. Because here you can see this is a different layout. And here's a different layout, and here's a different layout. The only thing that is in common between all of these is that you have two greens, one red,
half and a quarter. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. So yeah, it really depends on the camera manufacturer or the sensor manufacturer.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So because green is 50% of the chip it's not the chip, it's 50% of the sensor, the pixel, right?
Yeah.
Should I take half the time on the green than the red and the blue?
Oh, when you're doing mono?
When I'm doing mono.
That's a good question.
I don't have the answer for that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. We can talk a little bit about that as well as we go.
Thank you, Alan Mitchell.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
The answer is no. All right.
Because you know what you end up doing if you're doing it, you're probably going to be doing some sort of linear fit and making all the colors equal at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, when you want to debayer, a color image, you have to understand what that all means. So when you are imaging with a one-shot color, the color is actually coming in when it hits the sensor. It's actually coming in as a monochrome image. It's all basically black, white, and levels of gray. Even though you're using a color, you're using a color camera. Now, and based off of the computer, your computer and your processing software, it doesn't know what arrangement the pixels are.
Correct.
So what you have to do is you have to tell your software, be it PixInsight or Astro Pixel Processor or Deep Sky Stacker, what your color filter array arrangement is. So that way it puts it in the proper sequence. So because you don't want to end up getting a color image that looks really, really funky, that's all over the place, because you entered in the wrong CFA information. So when you're imaging, and creating an RGB image from a FITS or a video file, you need to tell the computer which of those black, white, and grays have the blue, red, or blue filters, and then they can form a meaningful RGB color image. And the usual RGB red, green, and blue color channels. So this is care of Altair Astro. So I didn't write this out. This was care of them. So, which is some really good information. This is also why you can see the why, you know, we don't use a U in color. So now when you have that one-shot color, if you take a look, there is that color filter, right? And you can see, you know, the highlights of the red, the blues, and the greens, to just share that. So when you have that with your one-shot color cameras, there are some pros and cons to one-shot color. One, of course, the pros, of course, is less expensive. Because the reason why it's less expensive is because most camera manufacturers, when these sensors, when these cameras are created, they're buying them from, say, Sony or others, or they're getting a bunch of different sensors. And for the most part, these sensors are actually going to be going into like microscopes, or, you know, or other types of photographic equipment, other types of cameras. And those are usually, they usually need to have those as color to see the images. So since like ZWO or, you know, Player One and QHY, when they see that, when they want to buy or build a new camera, it's less expensive for them to buy those color sensors because those are more abundant, right? Versus a monochrome camera, which they have to remove that filter array, that color filter array, the bare matrix.
So they have to make it without it, yeah.
Yes. So they can, or make it without it, exactly. So the pros are it's less expensive to purchase, and you don't even necessarily have to, you can buy fewer filters. Maybe you just only need a UV IR cut, you know, and then you're good to go, or maybe a moon and sky glow or what have you. Now, the cons of that are you actually may need to image longer than you would with a monochrome camera to get the same amount of color data. Because if you want to get as much red out of a color camera as you would with a monochrome camera, you're going to have to increase your imaging time by 4, right? Because there's only one, because red is only 1/4 of the of that filter matrix, right? So you're going to have to increase that by 4 times, a lot of, something like that. And also, one-shot color cameras cannot handle narrowband targets unless you have a special filter. Like, we all talk about in the new duo or tri or quad narrowband filters that have been designed for one-shot color so that they can be able to pick up those narrowband channels. Another thing is when you're processing a color image, a lot of times, maybe not now, especially with PixInsight, because you can set it to auto, you need to know the bare matrix pattern of your sensor in order to for debayering to work properly, so a proper color image is created. Okay. And this information, you can get it from your manufacturer, but it's also in the FITS header of your light frames. Okay. So now we'll talk a little bit about monochrome cameras. So as I mentioned, with a monochrome camera, you don't have that color filter array on top of the sensor. But what you will need to have are color filters and some sort of a filter wheel. Or you can have a slide, some way for you to swap out the different filters for your reds, your greens, your blues, and so on. So here is an example of a filter wheel. This one is a 1 1/4 8-inch 8 slot, And this is a list of all the different filters that I had to buy at the time. You know, here's an L Pro for luminance. You have your red, green, blue, and then you have your UVIR. And then you have, and if you want to do narrowband, you have to buy 3 additional filters. You have to buy a sulfur, an H alpha, and an oxygen gray.
And if you have an Altair camera, it came with a built-in UVIR.
What's that?
If you had an Altair camera, it comes with a built-in UVIR.
Yeah, and there are some. Yeah, that's true. There are some, even some ZWOs that do have a built-in UVIR cut, you know, filter on top, above, you know, above the sensor. But for the most part, yeah, you would have to buy a UVIR cut.
Well, a lot of the cameras also are coming with an option now, so you can buy an AR glass window or an IR cut window. So depending on if you want to be more or less sensitive to infrared at the base without having to get that. A lot of people do opt for the AR glass, and then if they want, throw in the filter, the IR cut filter later on, and use that pretty much as your luminance at that point. So but got a question in the chat. You know, about focusing after each filter. So this is a bone of contention with a lot of people. Do I do it? Do I not do it as a parfocal? Is it not parfocal? Do I use filter offsets? Do I not? So we could go around the horn here and talk about it. But
I can talk about that. So if you are off-axis guiding, with a separate guide scope, and you know, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're doing on-axis guiding with when you have the on-axis, what's the difference? So if you're using a guide,
on-axis is very expensive.
If you're using a separate guide scope, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're using off-axis guider where that light is coming into and you're reflecting that to a guide camera, then you're going to have to pay attention to your glass thickness of each filter, because the thickness of those filters, the glass on those filters, can determine your final focal plane for your main camera. Where that pickoff prism going to your guide camera, maybe you're going to have an issue where if you're going to end up with your guider too much out of focus. Yeah, I had that issue because I had 1 millimeter LRGB filters.
What 1.2 millimeter narrowband?
And 2 millimeter narrowband filters, and the offsets were so great that if depending on how I set it up, I'd have great focus for my guide camera with the narrowband, and then horrible focus for the broadband filters. And ideally you want to keep that glass as close to the same thickness so that for your guiding you don't have to be perfectly in focus, but you'd like to be as close as possible. But when you have a 1 millimeter difference in your glass on your filters, it can make a big difference. It can make a big difference.
We've got a couple points here that I want to touch on real quick. The first one is from Joseph. Not sure I understand what off-axis has to do with it when it's in front of the filter. If you're
it doesn't, because what happens is, but your main focus is the main camera. But every time you focus the main camera, you're refocusing the guide camera as well.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why it makes a difference.
Right. And then Mr. B, what calibration frames do you need for each filter? I assume darks are not needed for each filter. That is correct.
That's correct.
You only need darks for the particular camera that you're using. Okay. But you will need flat for each filter that you've used in your imaging project.
Wait a minute. I want to go back a little bit to this because
Yeah,
I'm
because
I'm a little
Joseph says not true.
I'm a little
So
confused because I'm actually a little confused on that as well because when you're moving the image train back and forth with the focuser, you're
you're
still
moving your
you're
off-axis guider.
no, you're not. You're not because the off-axis guider is in that image train. So you're moving it all at the same rate. That's why that distance from prism to guide camera and prism to main camera has got to be the same. So when you change focus, it shouldn't change the focus of your your off-axis
Yes,
guider.
it changes them both.
It does slightly change
Because
them both.
no, because you have to remember with every piece of glass that you put in front of something, it's going to change the focal point. And you have the off-axis guider in front of your filters, so you can focus your off-axis guider perfectly, but your main camera, because
Right,
everything's going
but
through a piece of
you're talking.
glass.
Let me see if I got it. So you're talking about when you have filters of two different widths, then, right?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. So even if you have all
I've
the
never
same.
had problems with this. I don't
So
know.
what I'm saying is off-axis guiders sit in front of the filter. So
Okay.
if you focus a perfect point for your off-axis guider, you're going through another piece of glass to your main camera. That's going to change the focal point to that main camera. But you're focusing with your main camera. When you run an autofocus run, it runs to your main camera. So your main camera is now going to be in focus, but because there's no piece of glass similar that filter represents to your main camera in the way of your off-axis guider, the focus is different. Every piece of glass changes your focal point.
But if you focus, wait. So if you focus your main camera, right,
Correct.
and you put whatever filter in front of it, I don't care.
And then you get your off-axis guider in focus.
Right.
Okay. Now, if I switch from a 2 millimeter piece of glass to a 1 millimeter piece of glass, then the focus is going to change for the main camera differently, and it's going to make your off-axis guider out of focus because that piece of glass, that thickness of the glass, is going to affect the angle, your focus angle into your main camera, and it won't affect the one into the off-axis guider.
Okay. So
So the
number one, this is why I use a guide scope. Number two, don't use different
amen.
size glasses.
Well, that's why
that's
I switched from the that's
what
why I
I'm
switched
hearing.
from
That's what I'm hearing. So
you
but I've
want
never
you
had
want
that issue. But I've also never used different widths of filters. I've
thickness of
always got the
glasses.
same. I've always stayed with the same kind of. If I was Aunt Leah, I was Aunt Leah. If I was Chroma, I was Chroma. If I was,
Well,
you
I
know,
was using the Optolong narrowband, which is 2 millimeter thick,
yep,
and the Astronomic
astronomics, which are
RGB,
one,
and
yeah,
it's only 1 millimeter
yeah.
thick,
Yeah,
and
that's you using similar to what I
made
did.
a
Then
difference.
well, okay, and I'll be dead honest with you. I know this is something that we talk about a lot, and I'm a solid type of guy that thinks that when you are a slightly out of focus with your guide camera, I tend to get better results.
You can't, yeah. I mean,
I
PhD2 is great at dealing with out of focus stars.
But here's my theory, and I know I've spoken about this before, and I know I'm gonna go back to Eric. I know you're in the middle of a presentation, but I'm gonna go back for a second because
That's
we're
fine.
all talking together. Here's my reasoning, and my reasoning may be crazy, and you guys can make fun of me in the chat. I really don't care. Here's my whole thing about that with PhD and how PhD works. Under my understanding, is that PhD works with guiding of centroids, which is the
Centroids.
brightest part of the star.
Correct.
Oh, the star.
That's
Right.
correct. Yeah.
When you have a star that's totally in focus, the odds are that entire star is more or less the same brightness. When you go a
And-
little bit out of focus, the center of that star becomes brighter than the rest.
That's
So
correct.
it gives you a little bit smaller of a region of interest for PhD guiding, which gets me better results. Now that's could be totally
Now, Dan, with a refractor, 100% true. But with something as a central obstruction in the middle of the
then you get a
of your-
donut. Yeah, then it wouldn't work. Yeah.
correct, then it makes it wonky.
Yeah, then it wouldn't work. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm a refractor guy. So I mean,
Yeah. So
you might
there's
go reflector at some point, but like with me,
well, I don't know. After I seen that wonderful iris image, now I'm back to SCT again. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But I'll say this.
But were
is
you
that
using an off-axis guider or a guide scope with that?
I
Me?
use an off-axis guider.
You do, okay. So
I
you've got your filters dialed in, and
I've got
and
my
your back
filters
focus.
dialed in. I use
with
filter
your-
offsets. I've got them dialed in,
That's
and
fine.
and I've got my guide scope basically in focus.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got it set perfect. It's more important to have that guide scope in your guide camera in focus when you have a central obstruction.
Yes.
Yes,
with a
you're
refractor,
right.
it's
Yeah,
not
thank you
as
for saying
important.
that, because that's definitely true. Because
Yeah,
everybody
that's-
knows when you're out of focus with the central obstruction, you get the nice little donut, and
And you can't read that
PhD
centrally.
ain't gonna pick up on a black hole, so
Correct, yeah.
not gonna happen. So
Gonna
that is definitely a true statement. So thank you for adding a an addendum to what I said. But I with my refractor and with my guide scope setup, non off axis guide or setup, I have found that with slightly, you get in focus and you turn it a quarter turn, get it a little bit. It seems to get better results in my crappy New York seeing.
Dan, Dave seems so smart.
Dave is smart. He
He is.
we all have our moments here. So
Yeah.
If you're using a refractor like Wilfred, like you're saying, your out of focus stars you are going to have more area to pick up on. But and that's why I do, when I'm using my FLT91, I do have it slightly out of focus. But when you have something like a central obstruction, like my secondary mirror on a Schmidt, I've got to have that sucker dialed in. So,
just really
that's
quick,
why
7 minutes. 7 minutes left to vote. 7 minutes.
That's why with my Newtonian, I'm thinking about getting a guide scope, because that way I can know I can have the guide scope constantly in focus,
Yep.
and that way I don't have to worry about it when I switch filters or anything like that, and do run autofocus runs. And nice thing about having a guide scope, when I do autofocus runs, I don't have to quick guide.
you don't have.
When you're off axis, you got a quick guide
You gotta
while you're running that autofocus.
Yep.
So
yeah.
All right. So let's move on with Mr. Eric's while we are run. Whoa, my mic just totally cut out. But go ahead, Eric. Finish on up.
Okay. So so when it comes to monochrome cameras, there are certain things that, of course, you have to take in consideration. And we're seeing them right here. Okay. So, and if I can go here. So certain things that I think about and that I can consider pros using a monochrome camera. One pro is that overall, you're going to probably have faster overall imaging time, because you can take advantage of your entire sensor. You take a full advantage of your sensor when you're using color filters, when you're using your filters. Okay. Not a quarter, not a half. You are being able to utilize your complete sensor for that, to grab that color. of your filter. And with that, you can reach your signal to noise ratio quicker. Okay, using a monochrome camera, and of course, they can handle narrowband data better. Now, the cons, of course, are they're more expensive, and they have a higher cost of ownership due to the additional accessories you need, like either a filter wheel or a filter drawer and the respective filters. So there are, when you're thinking about monochrome imaging versus one shot, these are a couple of things you may want to think about, and maybe think about that time when, like, even with me, I was at a point where I was like, it's time for me to move on to monochrome. Most people start out with one shot color, but there are also a lot of people that start out just go right into monochrome. And either way, you can still end up getting great images either way. But at some point, there is a definite advantage going, monochrome versus one shot color. So there's that. And if I go ahead and end this, and if I bring up Pix Insight here, when we talk about, like I said, about the color and the color cameras and stuff like that, and you have certain things, with the color cameras, with the CFA and everything. If I take a look here, this is what the camera sensor is going to actually see. This is how the actual data that's coming into the computer, this is what it picks up on a one-shot color camera. It's like we were talking about. It's gray, it's black, it's whites and stuff like that. It's only when you do your debarring, and we'll go into WBPP here, where you can set that proper debar pattern. So here you have, if I click on the light here, you have your color filter array settings, and you can say, hey, if I'm using a color camera, I have to turn on and say these are color. I'm using a color filter array. I'm using a one-shot color camera, and nowadays, with Pix Insight, you can set it to auto, because, like I said, the color array information is going to be in the header. But if you're unsure about that, or if you have an older camera that doesn't give you that information into the header, then you can choose that mosaic pattern. The most common one, as I said, especially with Sony sensors, is the RGB, but there are so many others that you can choose from. But they all have the same thing: 2 greens, 1 red, 1 blue.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't, and so when you're doing that debarring, that's how you go from that to that. And then you have to do your other processing. But you can see this is you have a more colorful image than you would, having just that black and white. So yeah. So and I thought there was anything. I don't think there's anything else. But yeah, we can talk a little bit more and debate a bit more on
the advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So I'm going to stop hiding here. Yeah. So there we go. And so this is where you really want to start thinking about, and even with, people who are novices and stuff, you start seeing the advantage of a monochrome camera, Hey, Dan, Eric, I want to use a pic for picture of the week that I took on my Astronomy Eclipse HA scope that are
totally.
Is that
totally legit? Totally legit. If you took the picture, it's yours.
Well, it's not your equipment technically. It's not. It's
but it's your picture. You process as you took it.
It's not remote. It's not like iTelescope. You know what? Yeah,
Right, it's
because
not like-
it's
yeah,
not
I
like
mean-
it's not like
I'm okay with that.
iTelescope
I'm okay with
or
that.
anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like real remote imaging where you image this. You know, you got this data from
No,
Chile.
Yeah,
or
no,
Australia or
that's
something
something
like
else.
that.
If you're
I mean,
using the,
You
if you're
set
using
you
your
set
scope
it up.
stuff,
You set it
Yeah.
up. You made the sequence. You took the picture. You processed it. That's your
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah. So in this case, yeah, I would say that's fine.
Yeah.
But going back to, I think there was a point that maybe that Wilfredo was talking about. I'm just looking at. Okay, Wilfredo was asking, saying the reason I asked, I want to go mono with my Rasa. I use a filter drawer, so can I focus one time with the HA filter and then just switch out each filter as I
And
go?
you'll have to
No
refocus.
refocus. You have to refocus.
You want to refocus.
You want to refocus every time, and don't forget before you change your filter out of your filter drawer when you're using a Rasa, you have to take flats. Okay, that is very important. Is that you have to take your flats either prior or just after you were done with that filter for your imaging session.
So, like the ideal thing would be like Dan talked about the other night is pick a night. You do one night with one
You
filter.
do one night. Oh yeah, exactly.
Take your flats. The next
Yep.
time you get to image, do the other filter. Take your flats, and then so on and so forth. That way, there's no chance for things to really get moved around where your flats might not calibrate properly or anything like that.
I don't see why you can't, use filter offsets with a manual filter wheel. I mean, you're just going to have to go out and change, do your offset calculations, do your focusing routines and stuff like that, and if you're using Nina, do the filter offset calculator for each filter, and then it'll come up with that. And then you just go and switch as you need, based off of your session.
The only problem with that I've found, Eric, is, as great as that Nina offset calculator is and everything, it's if it's hot one night and cool the next night, that offset calculator is not that accurate.
Yeah,
it's not, and you want to refocus it.
Yeah,
it'll get you close, but it won't get you perfect.
Yeah, one thing I am going to have to figure out, and I don't know, Dan, if I need, because I've been using and it hasn't worked for me at all. The temperature sensor that I was using, or I am using for the Asado, I was using, a ZWO EAF temperature sensor.
Hey, you better hope Tom's not listening right now, because that's the first thing. So
you can't use a ZW.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? That's like freaking blasphemy, man.
But when it comes to, if you want, do you know, or does anyone else know how to utilize the temperature compensation, or recognizing what your temperature is, or how to set it up? Because I'm not sure how to set it up, how to set up the Asado so it reads, the temperature, the sensor temperature. Now, this could be because I'm not using a Prima Luce,
I don't know if it really makes a difference. A sensor's a sensor, unless if the wiring is different in the Asado. I don't know. But
for some reason it's not.
However, I'll tell you this: I won't be the one asking Tom if I could use an EAF sensor on an Asado.
Exactly.
So feel free to call him and text him on your own. Just beware of what you might get. I'll make a fake email account and I'll send it to Tom and go find out.
You,
but
oh, you would. You, shut up,
so
Dan.
I mean, I have plenty of Sesto Senso temperature things that work for the Asado. I have plenty of them.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, I don't think I think it's literally only 2 wires on the temperature sensor to a. I don't think there's any difference to it than from one to
because it's
another.
only
But
because it's just basically I mean one plug and maybe there's the 2 wires inside.
well,
Gee,
when you go into Nina, right, and you
yeah.
plug it in, do you get the temperature readout on the focuser?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out why am I not
Then
getting the
then you're
temperature.
probably screwed. You're probably gonna have to get a Prima Luce sensor.
Maybe it's fine. I'm all good with that. That's okay.
And but I'll
But
be dead
50
honest with
bucks.
you. You know what? Well, you're not using an Eagle, so I mean, one day I'll get you an
That's
Eagle.
another thing. That's another thing.
So because mine gets set from any sensor I want. So if the temperature changes 2 degrees on any temperature sensor that I have, once it's calibrated, it'll do. I don't even focus by temperature anymore because temperature is more or less stable. These times it's just hot. you know, you know. We're not in the massive temperature swings like the desert where it goes from 90 to 20 in a night.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things. But temperature does affect focus. It does.
It does
We all
affect
know
focus.
this.
Well, but that's the thing is that when you run that filter offset calculator,
Then you're fine.
it could. Well, but if you're going to do that every night.
I don't use filter offset calculators.
I don't either. But if you do and you rely on that and you run that filter offset calculator in February and then you're trying to image in July and use that, forget
No,
it.
you
It's
can't.
never gonna be
Just like
close.
your darks, you need to update your
Really?
filter offsets. Oh yeah, absolutely. Temperature
Because
swings from
I'll say
winter to summer.
just full disclosure. I know I just did this Iris Nebula and I was using filter offsets. I haven't changed my Nina filter offsets since I've been really getting into Nina, which was probably around the winter fall time of last year. And my filters are all Aunt Leah, so they're basically pretty close to parfocal and stuff like that, same thickness or whatever.
Yeah.
But I haven't really needed. I think for me, I really haven't seen the need to do an update to my filter offset calculator. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't, but I'm just saying, I haven't.
And listen, you know what? I'm just me. I'm super OCD, so I have yet to trust filter offsets. I will sit there and I will focus I'll focus every 5-10 images and that's it. I'll just run a focus routine and I'll let it go. I'll lose those 15 images, 10 images over the course of the night. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't trust them, and that's just me. And I know they work. I know people that use them, and I know they work. It's just me. Just like I'm very quirky like that. There are some things I just won't do.
Now, Mr. B has another question here. Should I start planning my exit from the ZWO ecosystem? Can a ZWO filter wheel, EAF, and camera, can they still be used? Yes, because you'll use ASCOM.
Yep.
You'll use ASCOM drivers.
Yep. Which you're really using right now anyway, even if you're using the ASI Air. So
yeah, even though you're using ASI Air, you're using ASCOM. But it really depends on the person. I mean, for me, using my SCT, my Edge 8, I hate's a strong word, but I really did not like the EAF with a Schmidt, especially the Edge, because there's a reason you buy it. There's a reason why they have the mirror locks for the Edge, and stuff like that. Because Schmidt's, when you do the Meridian flip, you can very well end up having mirror flop. And that will really screw things up when it comes to your focus. That's why when I decided on getting the Edge, that was one of the key reasons I decided on the Edge, was because I don't want to deal with that chance of having mirror flop, so I can lock down my mirrors. And I went ahead, and I can't afford. I'll be honest, I can't afford a Moonlight, but the next best thing for me was the Prima Luce Asato low profile, and it is a micro focuser. I mean, the EAF's steps, the amount of steps in an EAF is, I believe, 60,000.
That much?
Max. No, I don't even think it's that.
I don't even think it's that much.
The Asato LP is 400,000.
Yep.
Steps. Reason, and that is a big thing. So that's telling you that it's the changes it's making are very, very small.
Yeah.
You know,
Does the Asato have
backlash? There's no backlash. I have not really. As far as backlash, I would have backlash with the EAF. I don't have that with the Asato.
Yeah,
Does
but
the Asato have encoders in it?
they do have. I don't know if it's actual encoders. I think it may be, because I know that the rotator has encoders in it. I believe the focuser runs on the same type of encoders. So I mean, it's got to, because I mean, it's so the 400,000 steps in what, 15 millimeters. I mean, got to be pretty darn precise percent for that,
Yeah.
Well, it just depends on how they move that motor.
So
how they move it. I know, the Nightcrawler has absolute encoders in it. That's, that was the thing that drew me to the Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Well, Ron does a great job with the Nightcrawler. He does really good.
That you can't get from ZWO. Like, we're still waiting for the unicorn called the CAA or CCA.
Yeah, I gave up.
When's it coming? Which is their camera angle adjuster, or quote unquote, it's basically a rotator. So you can be able to take advantage of a lot more different products from more manufacturers than just ZWO, because ZWO doesn't, using the ASI Air, you cannot utilize other products other than ZWO. But if there are certain things that you need, like I needed to get the Asato for my Edge 8, because like I said, the focuser for the EAF on a Schmidt, personally for me, is thumbs down. I had to make that decision, so that's why I did it. If I didn't have it, if I didn't have the Edge or anything like that, I would probably still be using an ASI Air, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of the stuff that we could talk about regarding, we don't like to bash.
I don't want to bash it because I still have stuff.
No, me too. And
I love bashing.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, the ZWO makes good stuff, and it fits a certain niche.
They do.
So
they do.
I
just don't like the path they're going down.
I don't personally. I'm with you. I got you. I understand. And that's why I kind of, in the business that I'm in now, I need to be able to touch and feel and, try different things. And, just because you have all ZWO doesn't mean that it's the best. I mean, ZWO may make a great 2600 with the IMX, 571. And then, but to Eric, to your point, the focuser
doesn't leak oil all over the center.
I think they got rid of that. But I mean, the focuser, the EAF, although it's good, but when you sit there, like your point on the longer focal length scopes, where you do have that tight CFZ, that critical focus zone, where you're sitting there, and that focus zone kind of gets shorter and shorter. It's equally proportional to your focal length, right? So you need a more and more precise focuser to get to the same thing that you would with a refractor and an EAF, let's say.
That's
so.
correct.
So
So
those are the things you kind of want to look into. Now, if you are an ASI user and you're just starting out and you want to get all into it and everything, maybe that's the way to go. But remember the buy once, cry once, like we were talking about. Sometimes being all stuck into one ecosystem is not very good.
Yeah.
So
real quick, Mr. B, just sharing my screen here. Here is my Edge 8 in my observatory. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but there is the reducer there.
Yep.
Sitting in front of the Asato.
Yep.
Followed by my filter wheel, the OAG. This is the ZWO, not ZWO, but the Celestron OAG, the larger one. And you have my filter wheel and my 533 mono. So yes, it does work with it. So it works very well with the reducer.
So Jose, no, software does not change the amount of steps in a focuser. Absolutely not.
No.
That's based on the motor that drives the focuser.
Correct. And what's in the gearing and everything, however they do it. So, I took the cover off mine.
Rob Bryant,
I've got the cover off mine. My forecast changed again. It's going to be semi-clear.
The whole series on temperature focus.
I'm going to try.
All right, good luck.
I've got mine set
You
up.
need to use the ZWO EAF remote temperature sensor. Okay, interesting. Okay. I'm a mechanical engineer, and all that weight hanging on that rear sill drives me crazy. I get it, but like I said, but you can use it. And if you've seen my iris, there you go. So
well, but the thing about the Edge is the nice thing about the Edge is once you get it locked down, that rear cell ain't going nowhere. Everything's going to be locked in position, and you'll be good. And the key, I think, Eric, is once you get it locked down with the Asato, pull it out of focus a little bit, then collimate it, where it's locked in place, and then
don't turn on the printer again.
The printer's done.
Yeah. No, I guess.
Look at that. He just took it off. He's taking it off right now. I'm going to show you.
It takes
there you go.
Yeah. Nice.
My ring for my Newtonian. I got that super flat black paint. I got to paint it.
Oh, okay. Couldn't you make it with black material?
No, well, it was either black, it was either white or orange is what he's got. So I figured the white, I've got that super flat black paint that'll work perfect on white.
Yeah, Mr. B. Yeah, I guess on some cameras they have. I'm assuming it should be a tilt adjustment to take care of that. So yeah, there's certain cameras that do that. Unfortunately, the 533 is one of those cameras that it doesn't. And it's because right now ZWO, they still don't want to get on board with designing rear-facing tilt adjusters for their cameras, which I think is huge. It is, and I think it would be a huge win for them, because how can you adjust your tilt? You can't take your imaging, train apart. You need something so you can adjust from behind your imaging train.
Unfortunately, when you're in a lot of ZWO land, you're gonna have to get some sort of like a
but not for
CTU.
The 533. I don't believe they have one for the 533, Joseph.
No, but you could get like but you could get like a CTU or some sort of.
The side facing is good, Frank.
Yeah,
Duo,
so you can get
the Duo does have a rear facing. I have it for I have the rear facing tilter for my 2600, but they don't have it for the 533s, you know, or the smaller cameras, or the 533, 183, the 294, those types.
Right. No. I bought one.
And I have a Gordon Newman too, but it adds too much right now. It adds a bit too much thickness. Unless I have to figure out a way, because the one thing about the Edge 8 is that if you're using the reducer, you have to stay in that 105 millimeter, back focus. You can't. Yeah. You can't really go off of that. Maybe you can go 106 millimeter, but I wouldn't. But that's the whole thing. You got to end up
with the ZWO. I think with the ZWO, the tilt adjuster they have would work fine for a color camera where you just have, you're not using a filter wheel. You're not attaching that camera right up against the filter wheel. So you have spacers between your reducer and everything to get your back focus. So that way, you can get behind it and make the adjustments you need to. But they're not designed for a mono camera where it's right up against that filter wheel. You can't do that.
There was someone on YouTube. They were using a low power laser and they had something mounted. They had their camera.
I saw that. Yeah. And you bounce it off the sensor.
They were bouncing it off this, and then they were able to utilize the tilt plate to adjust everything.
Yeah, that was too. You know what? That was too.
I have to find that YouTube video again to see how they did it and see if I can just recreate that setup. Because maybe that's something I'm going to probably have to do, is to deal with the tilt because there are tilt issues with the Rasa, tilt issues, your tilt issues with a lot of different, imaging trains. So it's not always, because it's not always perfect, but what are you gonna do?
That was that video, but that's a lot of. That was over my head. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I'm like going, that sounds it looks all beautiful, but ain't no way I can.
Yes, low power.
BlurX works wonders.
It does, and you know what?
BlurX is much better.
BlurX that has been my saving grace.
Yeah.
For all of my photos for the past 6 to 9 months. When I purchased that has been the saving grace for me. But and you can tell even when you're doing the correct only. After that correct only is done, you can absolutely tell.
Unbelievable.
And it's unbelievable. Collimation is nothing when it comes to a Schmidt-Cassegrain. It really isn't, because you're only adjusting your secondary mirror to your primary. And it's basically just tweaking here and there, very little adjustments, unlike maybe with a Newtonian or definitely an RC, where you're dealing with you deal with the primary too a little bit. You have to deal with the primary too as well. But a Newtonian's even easy, especially compared to a Ricci.
Yeah.
So
Ricci's are a pain in the ass, but Newtonians, since I got my Newtonian, once you get the primary set, it's just tweaking the secondary set. Once you get that set, it's just tweaking a little bit. It's not that bad.
Now, does your primary have the center dot where you can then line up?
It's got the little
so you can make it the little ring there to make it a little bit easier to center to get the secondary in there. That's good. That
makes it so easy.
Yeah. If you have an RC8, especially the ones the closed cell RCs,
that's what I have.
Those are a PETA.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen somebody collimate that. I saw a YouTube video of somebody collimating that. That's why I said.
Oh, the guy we had on. Who was the guy we had on?
I believe so. Yeah, he was on. He's because he, gosh,
He
I
did
can't
a
remember
video
his
on
name.
it. It's
He
a
did
great
a video
video,
on it,
but
yeah. But you
still,
look at
it's
what
not
he
as
had to
easy as
go
he makes
through.
it out to be.
No, but you see what he
Alan?
had to go through to do
Alan,
that?
yeah.
He's in the
Yeah.
chat.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's funny.
Hey, listen, I gotta tell you, like I learned a lot of stuff from Alan. Alan and I have a pretty cool working relationship, but the first thing I learned from him was the rig runner thing that he had going on. It was like a 7-part series that he had, or a 6-part
That's kind of
series.
Yeah.
You know, that was a pretty big. And then when I started messing around with RCs, hey, listen, you know, I had the same exact RC I had said, and you know what, it worked. What he did, it worked. I got it. Now, you know, you got to remember, he was showing you through layers of practice that he had. So you got to understand that, you know, to your point, you know, collimating an RC is probably one of the harder ones to get down. But just with anything else, as long as you practice and continue and get yourself into a routine, you'll get into it before sooner rather than later, and then it'll be fine. But it just takes, because there is one more thing you got to worry about, which is a focuser cell.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you have to start worrying about again, and make sure everything's lined up the right way. So it does add a layer of difficulty to it.
Yeah, it definitely does. And for me, like, because I want to use my Nightcrawler on my RC, it makes it even harder because I'm not using the stock focuser. I'm using the Nightcrawler on it. So how do you adjust that in those three angles?
Yep.
And so that's one of the things I'd like to get together with him and see how he would attack that, because that makes it a little
I
different.
wonder if he's still online. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we are getting close towards the end of the show, so we are
Yep.
going to announce image of the week and image of the month here.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you to our viewer membership, our chat, for getting the word out to others and everybody, because we have gotten some great numbers here for image of the week for this week. I'm going to share this here. Go here and entire screen and share. Okay. So we ended up, for image of the week for this week, we got 75 votes.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I said we wanted 50. We got 75. So
I sent the word out. I sent the word out.
Awesome. Wait. Do you have one in there?
I don't.
Oh, good, because I was going to kick you out.
No, I told everyone to go vote. I'm not in there. Just do me a solid. Just go vote. Find one that you like.
We got 108.
Wow.
108 votes.
Wow.
So that is awesome. So thank you. So first off, we're going to do image of the week for tonight, for June 21st. Awesome. And we have some really good images here.
Oh yeah, there were some really good ones.
So no, they were really cool. So our results are Nathan
with the squid.
Bernard,
there you go.
The squid and flying bat nebulae. Congratulations, 33 votes.
There you go.
So,
good job, man.
There you go. And Nathan is this is his first, I believe. I don't recall seeing Nathan winning a picture image of the week.
I think he won an image of the week one, maybe.
Yeah.
But definitely, you know, when he put this on the Discord, I was like, yeah, you know, and Nathan, you may just, between it could be me. I don't know. You might want to stretch that 03 line just a little bit more. I think you got some more data in there that could pop out.
I agree.
So here's the image.
Like you see
Aaron
the
Wynn-
center of the round part right there, and like
That top,
where the
yeah,
that top. I think you get a little bit more
and
out of
even
that.
towards the bottom, towards
Yep,
the tail.
yep, yeah,
It's,
at the end. Yep.
the red's coming
I
through
would
too
But
say
much.
let me tell you, what a great
Nathan,
job,
I'm
man.
telling
This
you
has
right
been such a
now,
great job.
yes, this is a great job because I would tell you, OU4, it's not an easy target. It's not an
Oh,
easy
it's
object
brutal.
to pull out. I mean,
Brutal.
it is extremely faint.
It's
So
brutal.
for you to pull this out, you know, is kudos, big time kudos. So congrats.
Yeah, very well done.
So okay,
But they
let's
were
go
all
back.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
all those
Yeah.
images this week were good.
Absolutely. So, but congratulations here to Nathan. So I'll be getting that on the website here later today. Now we're going to look and see out of the, you know, who voted, you know, we got 108 votes here. Who is the winner for May 2024?
I got a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Cat's Eye Nebula.
Hold on.
Scott.
Go down. All right. Just want to make sure it wasn't a tie.
57 votes. The Needle
that
Galaxy
was
by Ernie got 43. I mean, these were some great images.
Amazing.
All of these
That-
guys,
Yep.
well deserved kudos, making image of the week and then competing. This was a good one. It was a good competition on this week for May. But congratulations to Scott there for your.
And that
Cat's
was
Eye.
the thing.
That
It was
Cat's
like
Eye
there were
great.
so many good ones because the Cat's Eye and the Needle, and then you had the Spaghetti, which was an awesome.
Yes.
But that
Yes.
Cat's Eye is just such a cool image.
And if I minimize, let me see if I.
You got to go down. I think, yeah. That Cat's Eye was just such a cool image.
Because yeah,
Yeah,
we are.
that's it. Yeah. I mean, that's just
great. That's just
the
great.
way he's got it framed and
Mhm.
the galaxy. I mean,
Yeah,
what
the composition of it. Yes.
amazing image, and the detail.
I mean, he put in 40 hours.
On the core of that thing is
Mhm.
unbelievable.
I mean, when you put in 40 hours of work, you know, of integration time on this, man. You put some work in on this, so congratulations to you.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'll go
Whoops.
Sorry.
ahead. All right.
Let's do something.
Okay, guys. So we are now at 10 o'clock.
Yep. We're good to go.
It's a great show. Thank
Yeah.
you, everybody. Mr. B, thank you for your questions, your participation.
Yeah.
Everybody's participation. It's made it a great show. And if you like these shows that we are doing, these live shows, and you're one of those that are, you know, who can't get on a live show, but you're watching the recordings, still continue to do us a favor. Let Google and let YouTube know that we are busting our butts here. We've been doing it for the past 5 years, you know, to do this, to bring this type of content, to bring this show to you guys. So we would really appreciate a thumbs up from you guys. All it takes from you guys is just a click of your mouse to just give us a thumbs up. And leave comments. If you have comments or thoughts or anything like that or feedback, I mean, constructive feedback is always welcome, at least for me personally. Leave it in the comment section, and we will really do that. And don't forget our Discord channel that we have. So check us out, catch up with us, and ask questions on Discord and stuff, you know, and stuff like that. And if Dan and I can't answer them, you know, Dave's on there. Everyone, you know, every once in a while, we have Tom on there. We have others. We have a great group of people.
Great crew.
Community.
Yeah.
A great community of people, of astro imagers, you know, that can answer the question for you. So.
It's literally an astronomy club that all over the world, because we have people from all over the world.
Exactly.
You
This
know,
is
guys in
truly a
Great Britain.
global
Guys,
club.
we got Tarek in you know UAE.
Mhm.
You know,
Exactly.
we have people all over
Exactly.
the world. So, you know, if you have a question,
So
everybody's there.
so
to
yeah.
help
So
answer.
okay. Great show, Dan. Final thoughts.
I'm playing with something really quick here. It's like
What do you got?
layers. I'm trying to do this while
Congrats, there,
I'm trying to do
Nathan.
something like we're doing with the final thoughts, and let me see if I could do this. And again, this is
Oh,
on
that
the
is
fly,
Nathan's first
so
image of the week. I
may
thought
not
so.
work.
So congratulations.
Well done,
So-
Nathan. Good job.
So
Good job.
nice job. But yeah, yeah, no, pretty much that's like you. I'm gonna echo what you said. Thank you to all of our members that are out there that support us on Patreon and YouTube and watch us every week. If you want to support us on YouTube or our Patreon, go check us out on AstroWorld TV on Patreon, and you can buy us a cup of coffee and help us fund our Neve project, which we've been doing for the past 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we're doing there. And all these people are contributors to our Patreon and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for everybody in the support, and thank you everybody that comes here week after week and watches all of us be silly. And
Yep.
you know, and you know, you know,
Make sure to check out Astro with Eric. His
Astro
website.
with Eric as
thank
well.
you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
You
make
know,
sure to check that out.
Eric's blog is doing pretty good, so definitely check that out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just thank you everybody for hanging out and listening to us. And I'm going to do that as we do our final thoughts from now on, and let that roll before the end of the show. So we'll do that way.
Okay.
I think that worked out. So
Yeah,
I'll just make the
absolutely.
pictures the right size. So I kind of did that on the fly. So I had it set up with just me and Eric, and I had to add Dave. So you know, we got 3 people. So but yeah,
Do some painting.
you do
I
some
have to go
painting.
do some painting and
Hey,
get this ready
did
to go.
Florida win tonight? I mean,
Oh, I didn't notice. I didn't check. But that was tonight, wasn't it? Crap! If they did, I'll be upset. I love seeing
Oilers 3, Panthers nothing. Halfway through the second,
still going.
Oh,
unbelievable.
It's not over till it's over, baby.
Unbelievable. It's gonna go to a game 7.
Man, if the Oilers come back, that's got
to be some sort of record.
that'll be an epic Stanley Cup final.
Yep.
Yep.
Holy
I
cow.
have no what do they call it, a dog in this hunt.
Yeah, I got
so,
no
you know,
skin in the game. No skin
no
in the
skin in
game.
the game. It'll be fun. I enjoy it. You know, and it's enjoyable to watch these guys go at it, man.
Unbelievable, man.
You know, right now, my thing is, well, it was the College World Series, and my team's out, so.
go Vols, please go Vols.
Yeah, no, they took my freaking my Knowles out the other day, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
So come
They
on,
can't
Rocky
win it
Top.
every year.
No, you can't.
Nice. All right. Any other final thoughts out there, my friends?
No.
No. Other than
don't have any.
keep imaging, keep educating, clear skies. I got clear skies right now. Let's hope they stay that way all night because I'm getting ready to hit play.
There you go. Very, very
See what
good.
I
All
get.
right.
And like Star Walking, go mono. Yeah, that's a good.
Omano.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Go Mono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Awesome.
won't regret it.
All
See
right,
you,
everybody.
Tom.
Well, you know, Eric, great job with that presentation. Dave, thank you for ending the show for us. So that being said, I'm not going to say it again. So everybody have a great night. We'll see everybody on Wednesday night for another rendition of our AstroWorld TV. And come join us if you're watching us on the replays. Come join us on the live show If you have any ideas on Astropalooza, on any guests that you might want to see, hit me up on Dan at AstroWorldTelescopes.com, and we could, actually, no, that's not right. awtelescopes@gmail.com. So wow. I got too many emails these days, but thank you everybody for hanging in there. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the input in the chat, and everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe and get some stuff done. Have a good night,
See you
everybody.
guys. Have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
And my outro, my buttons aren't working.
Your buttons are
My
busted.
buttons are not. I don't even know where my outro is anymore.
That's what she said.
Yeah, outro. Where's my outro? There we go. Now that you've totally embarrassed me, I'll just press the play button.